Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia, and I am with you with the area of ABFM. And we are talking about the topic of CAIIB 2023. And now we are starting with the next topic. We are done with the area of planning now. Now, today we'll be starting with the area of organizing. So let's understand what exactly organizing is and how does it play an important role in achieving the goals of the organization. CIB 2023, and now we are starting with the next topic. We are done with the area of planning now. Now today, okay, the class is going on fine. So let's move on and talk about this topic in detail. Today we'll be talking about organizing. Organizing is what exactly? Organizing means to prepare the resources for this particular time period, right? So then when we talk about organizing, organizing as a function of management is followed by is basically succeeded by planning. First of all, we plan that this is what we are looking forward to achieve in the upcoming period. Then we organize whatever goal we are trying to achieve. We will specify how to achieve that goal. We will specify the resources which are required to achieve that goal. And then we will move forward. So organizing is making up the resources as well as arrangements that are required to be made, are to be decided in advance. So organizing is basically the function of management which follows planning. Again, it says that it is basically something which follows planning. First of all, we try and we determine the goals of the organization, that this is what we want to achieve, and then they move forward to it. So it is a function in which the synchronization and combination of humans as well as the physical and financial resources takes place. So what they do is they synchronize their working and they combine their human and other efforts. See, the point is, in an organization there are multiple efforts that they are putting. It can be in terms of their money, in terms of the working that they are doing. It can be in terms of the physical efforts that they are making to achieve the goals of the organization, and also the financial resources that they are building up. So when we talk about all these things, when the organization is trying to build up the organization with the resources, the things that they had decided as per plan, that is where organizing begins. It organizes or arranges all the things that the organization wants in order to achieve those goals. Okay, now let's move on and talk about it in detail. What is the process of organizing there? In terms of the process of organizing, first is to identify and classification of activities. First of all, we will identify what kind of activities are there and then we'll classify it. That means, first of all, the organization is going to find out how many functions are required for their working. That means they need administration department, they need HR department, then they need purchase department, they need the sales department. They need all these departments for their working now. So when all these departments are helping them to achieve the goals, that is where they are identifying the different activities that is to be done by the organization. So first is to identify and classify the activities. But when we classify these activities, the next point is what then? When we classify these activities, next is to group these activities. That means the various functions are to be grouped on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities, right? So whatever there is, whatever which is similar would be grouped together, which is different would be taken to the next area. That is where they're grouping grouping those activities which are being done. And then we have delegation of authority and placing of responsibility. See, first of all, we have decided that this is the entire functions that we are required. Then if I do everything, then what will happen? I'll not be able to finish the work at all. I cannot work for 24 hours a day. I cannot work around the clock. So that means there's a delegation of authority which is required. I'll delegate the authority to the next person, and then that particular person, if he feels overburdened, he will also delegate his work to the next person. So in this case, the delegation will lead to decentralization. Delegation is what? Giving your power to the subordinate. If this is a superior, this is subordinate. The superior is sharing his work with the subordinate there. that is where delegation enters. Delegation means that sharing of power from the superior to the subordinate. That is what he'll do. If he will feel too much choked with work, he will also give it to the next subordinate. So that is where we end up having a series of delegation in the organization. Then establishing a superior subordinate relationship, that is where we specify. If I say that I have the power to take decisions, then I am giving you this much power. That is where I am establishing a relationship with you as a superior subordinate relationship. Then the next point that comes is making provision for effective coordination. We will also make the provisions for effective coordination. If there is no effective coordination, we'll set up the communication. We will also decide the formal hierarchy. What is the reporting structure? How do we report about the work that we are doing? All these things are available only if we understand the process of organizing now. Otherwise, it's not possible. And at the same time, this entire process goes one by one. It just doesn't start the first thing and then you go towards the second thing, then you are simultaneously doing the third. No, first of all you finish the first level, then you move towards the second level, and then you move towards the third level. That is how it works, right? Okay, now let's move on and talk about the process in details. What are the characteristics of organizing? See, what does organizing exactly do? Let's talk about that first. Organizing is a very important aspect of the working, because in terms of planning, what are we doing? It's a mental exercise. We want to achieve this, we want to achieve that. That is what the planning does. But organizing gives shape to it. How does organizing give shape to it? Because then it gives the support to the planning, that this is the resources that you are required in. We will arrange the resources to accomplish the goals. There is a particular structure that we require. We'll arrange that structure for you. So everything that is something that organizing helps is it in terms of the characteristics of organizing, it helps in developing that particular portion. And how do we work in this area? Then first is sub process of management. The first process of management leads to the next process. That is what they call it, sub process of management. Now, when we talk about the management, it is something which helps the organization to grow further. Now, when we talk about this part, the organizing is basically looking forward to simplifying that process of planning. If I had a plan, for that execution of plan, I need n number of resources. So let's make the arrangement of the resources now. So it's basically a sub process. Then it's goal oriented. We have a goal in our mind, and to achieve that goal, we'll have to rush towards it, isn't it? So then we have to make the resources. We have to specify what kind of resources we need and how do we reach it. So it's goal oriented. And then it is group efforts. I don't think we can work all alone, right? So we need people to work with us. That is where we specify the term as group efforts. So even organizing is also group effort. You'll always find that all these things happen with people. The individual, the boss cannot do everything. Individually, you are incomplete to complete that particular work. You need support of the people, you need group efforts, you need n number of people working for you day and night. So then that is where this is group efforts is involved in it. Then the principle of division of work. I cannot give the entire work to one particular person. He will be overburdened. I will be distributing the work among different people there. Right? That is what we define as principles of division of work. Next is authority and responsibility relationship. If I say authority and responsibility, authority is the power to take decisions. What is authority? Authority is the power to take decisions. This makes the working easier. Authority is basically power to take decisions. If I want to take any decision, then power is something in terms of commanding the other people is power, authority, and then responsibility. See, the point is, if I give you a good amount of power, but I do not give you that part of answerability. Answer, what are we doing? What is that particular task that you are doing? What that is what they call it as responsibility. That means we do not have only authority and responsibility, do you know? We also have accountability as well. The point is, if even if the work is being delegated to someone else, your work was yours. You either do it on your own or get it done from others. So technically, accountability is basically when you are responsible for your working, but while doing that particular work, you're also answerable to what you are given initially only. You are not only doing it for yourself, but yes, you are, even if you're doing it for someone else, then you are answerable to that particular person. Because we cannot be just with ourselves now. The organization works with people. So if I have the power to command others, if this is the work that they are supposed to do, then I have to take the responsibility of themselves as well. And at the same time, they are also accountable, and I am also accountable to the top level management. Whatever work they have given to me, I cannot claim Mr. N or Mr. Y or Mr. X is not doing the work, that is why my work is being affected. No, I am still answerable. If it was my work, why did I give to them in the first place? And that if I've given to them, then I will have to make sure that the work is completely done. If the work is not completely done, then the particular work is definitely being incomplete, right? Okay. Now, vertical and horizontal relationships. When we talk about the vertical relationship, it means the relationship between a superior. This is a relationship between a superior and a subordinate. This is a vertical relationship, right? And when we talk about two peer groups talking to each other, for example, one branch manager talking to the other branch manager. This is a horizontal relationship. Why do we call it a horizontal relationship? Because both of them are at the same level in the organization and they are trying to communicate with each other. So that is what we call as the vertical and horizontal relationship. Okay, in terms of different types of organizations, there are two types. First is, if I talk about the hierarchy, which is defined by the organization structure. For example, if we work in the organization and the organization has specified that this is how it is going to work, that means the people who are working in the organization, they are defined that one particular person is senior, this particular person is junior, and this particular person is super junior. So what is it? This is a formal form of organization. But when we talk about this hierarchy, people intermingle as well. Na? ऐसा तो नहीं, it doesn't happen that these people are just going to talk to each other in terms of only the emails or in terms of the messages. They're just going to specify their work and nothing else. No, it's not possible. If you keep one chair and another chair while you are not in this room, there are 100% chances that the chairs won't intermingle. They won't talk to each other. Wherever you leave it, it's there because they're non-living things. But there are at least 70 to 80% chances that the two people that you leave on those chairs will definitely interact. Human is a social animal. So informal organizations grew out of the formal organizations only, because in terms of the formal organizations, these were based upon the lines of formal communication, the hierarchy which was set, lower level, middle level, then your top level, right? So then when we talk about that particular area, that is the formal organization that we define. And in terms of the intermingling of the people, their social relationships, their cooperation towards each other is called informal organization. That is what we define the two different types of organizations. Right? Okay, in the next class, I'll be talking about this particular topic in detail. But let me tell you, we are starting with a new batch, and for that particular thing, let me give you a little brief about that scenario. Okay, in order to look forward to our classes, what you can do is you can open up our app, that is www.adda247.com. Here you can go to the area of JIB and CIB, and you can see the JIB and CIB ka Maha Pack is available. That means if you're preparing for CIB, you can take up the CIB ka Maha Pack, which includes not only the classes, but it includes everything. That means the classes, revision, case study batches, whatever batches do we come up is all available here only. And with all these batches that are coming up, we also provide the test series, then ebooks, video solutions, everything is available in this particular Mahapack. And at the same time, double validity is going on. That saves a huge amount of money. Plus, not only double validity, all you need to do is you need to click on the area of buy now and use the code Y541 and then apply it. It will be for 7199.20, that too for a time span of 1 year, and that too at 81% discount. You can use the code Y541. So that means you can save your money. The total amount would be less than around 77,000 or 700 something. So then you can take up our courses at this point of time. This would become cost friendly timing to purchase our course, and at the same time double validity ensures that you do not only get the particular course, but you also get it at a higher amount of validity. So for the CIB courses, you can look here, and at the same time you can see that in this area we have got around 500 hours of classes, 45 test series, as well as 406 videos and 84 ebooks are available, and all the elective subjects are also available. That is rural banking, HRM, IT and digital banking, risk management, as well as central banking. So you can look forward to our courses and you can check out the further details of the same. As the batches are just starting, this is the perfect time to enroll yourself. So at least you do not have any problem in the live classes at all. So kindly go ahead and check it out in our app or on our website for further details. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll be meeting in the next class.